The server errors have been plenty. I mean, there we go. Speaking of which, it's just me, and I got another server error. Oh my god, what is going on? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown demo on the 7900 XTX with the Ryzen 7800 X3D, 32 gigs of RAM. And we're going to start with 4K. We're going to also check out some 1440p. But before we do that, I just wanted to go over the settings real quick here. For starters, this game has terrible anti-aliasing. And one of the main reasons is because it uses FXAA for anti-aliasing. Doesn't have TAA, so you want to use FSR2 or DLSS if you have it. You have the option to use FSR2 as a form of anti-aliasing without any upscaling. And then if you go further to the right, then you drop the quality, balance, performance, ultra performance, and so on. I just want to go over some of the settings that I found to be a bit demanding that you could probably tweak if you wanted to get some more FPS. Now, the next setting is global illumination. This one can be quite taxing. So at very high, we're at 67 FPS. If we drop down to high, we immediately jump to 79 FPS. That's a huge jump. This right here is global illumination very high, 67 FPS. And this right here is global illumination high, 79 FPS. So I would recommend keeping this on high. There's just so much more performance for just knocking it down a notch. The next one that is quite a bit costly can be view distance. So for example, this is view distance ultra, 66 FPS. This is view distance high, 68 FPS. This is view distance medium, 70 FPS, so we're beginning to lose a bit more detail on the faraway trees and some of the buildings. And view distance on low. Now, the view distance setting can actually be a bit taxing on your CPU as well. And this game can be quite a bit CPU heavy. So if you're CPU bound, I would recommend messing around with the view distance. You can set it to low. It still looks fine. It's just that you lose a bit of detail on faraway objects. That's pretty much it. I don't think that's a huge deal personally, but I would recommend leaving this on high. But the settings we're going to go with here is we're going to turn global illumination from very high to high, just because we can gain so much more FPS just by dropping from ultra to high. So I do recommend that. View distance from ultra to high, ambient occlusion to medium, and let's go ahead and put FSR to anti-aliasing here. So we're going to try to run the game 4K native and see how it runs with these settings. And then we'll try some FSR quality as well. Let's go ahead and make our way to a race. You idiot, why would you stop in the middle of the road? Jesus. We're driving to our next race, but I've just been looking at the performance here, and we're actually doing pretty good. We seem to be anywhere between 60, 70, sometimes 80 if you're on the highway and there isn't a lot of stuff around. But we at least seem to be maintaining 4K 60. So you could even lock the FPS to 60 and have a more consistent experience if that's what you like. But this feels pretty good. I mean, game doesn't look great, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this is expected level of performance with this hardware at 4K, but just kind of working with what we have here. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into this race and see how things look. And we've arrived at our destination. Let's go ahead and enter this race. I've been getting server errors sometimes trying to enter some of these races. I'm not sure what's up with that, but looks to be searching for players now. Lobby error. There we go. Sometimes you got to try a couple times, but it usually works eventually. I'm assuming they'll probably beef up the servers when the game launches. I think it's gonna work. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Please work. Alright guys, after 3 tries, we got into the race. So there we go. Let's see how we do. Well, it looks like we dropped a bit below 60, so that's interesting. In the open world, we were able to maintain 60. Now, we're not using FSR here. We are running at native 4K. But this does not feel great. it does feel like 50 FPS actually. Not very smooth. I think probably we should have tried some FSR quality. Now we're at 60 FPS. That's kind of weird. Performance all over the place for some reason. Oh, huge stutter. That was awful. Error. Server timed out. I guess that explains it. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out some FSR quality now. I don't think 4K 60, even with some of my optimized settings, is really doable at native 4K with FSR used as a form of anti-aliasing, because you don't want to use FXAA in this game. It looks terrible. I mean, in the open world, we seem to maintain 60 and above sometimes, but during races, the FPS seems to drop for some reason. Will it work? 5, 4, 3, 2. Lobby error. Oh my god. Why? There isn't even any players. Alright guys, looks like we got into another race. I couldn't get into that other one, but here we're using FSR quality, same settings we had before, and we seem to be between 70 and 80 FPS. So I would definitely recommend using FSR quality, even with the 7900 XTX at 4K. It just, for some reason, this game is crazy demanding. I don't know. The server errors have been plenty. I mean, there we go. Speaking of which, it's just me, and I got another server error. Oh my god, what is going on? Yeah, here's your always online games. Jesus. Hi guys, so I'm not having much luck trying to find a race. The server keeps disconnecting, but we're gonna try to get a 1440p out of this. So here we go. 1440p, I've dropped it to 1440p, and we're using FSR as a form of anti-aliasing, so 1440p native, and I've just maxed out all the graphical settings, because even with the 7800 X3D, we appear to be CPU bound here. If you look at our GPU use, it's below 99, so why not? Why not max out all the graphical settings? So here we go. I'm gonna keep trying until I can get at least one race, just so we can see what the performance is like. Lobby error. Well, it looks like we found another person for this race as well. Let's hope it works, because most of the races I've done have been against AI, believe it or not. Only one other race, there was one other person, but here we seem to have a real person, which is kind of exciting. So here we go. 1440p. We seem to be at 70 to 80. Previously with my settings at 4K, we were actually dropping below 60. It was quite choppy, especially during these turns, but it seems to be okay now at 1440p here. Here we go. Slow and steady does it. Hey, look at that. We appear to be above 60 FPS. You know what's funny is that I checked on my PlayStation 5, and apparently there's no demo for console for this game. Actually, I was really curious to see how it would run on console. But yeah, it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very good, guys. I mean, I'm using a 48-inch OLED 4K TV, and I'm kind of close to it, and I'm running the game at 1440p, so it does look quite flickery. But normally I run other games at 1440p, and I'm up close, and they still look pretty decent. Why is the other person a ghost? I'm curious. Is that like someone? Am I racing someone's ghost, or is that like an actual player? Oh, error timeout. Well, that wraps it up, guys. I don't know what else to do. This game is a mess right now. Maybe there's a lot of people playing it, but here you go, the 7900 XTX, very high-end GPU, and yeah, we can't really seem to be getting a 4K 60 with all the graphics settings maxed out. And to be fair, I don't think the 4090 can either in this game all the time. So there's that. Yeah, not great. Not great. I think the game needs quite a bit more work, and yeah, I really don't know what else to say about it. I'm not impressed at all, but I hope they can overcome these issues. At least the game should be playable and not time out on servers, because, you know, I get it. It's a demo, though. We'll see when the game launches. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought. And I don't know. How you playing the demo? What's your experience like? Let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm going to go play something else that's fun. All right. Bye.